Hello, Jim from Nevada. Good to see you. Jim, you're going to have to put this one on your list for summer practice. Welcome, everybody, back to my live stream. Please type in the chat who you are and where you're at. And I know many of you are on Patreon. And if you're not already, please join my online music community. There's a free tier, there's paid tiers. Currently, the diamond tier is full, and that includes a private lesson once a month. So the silver tier gets you all of my tabs and PDFs and Soundslice practice videos. That's actually what I was just working on, is syncing it up. This arrangement today, I'm going to show you. Actually, I'm going to learn it myself. I wrote it the other day. I finished it for Patreon on Patreon. There's a lot of behind the scenes process videos of me working out the arrangement. But I haven't learned it, so I'm just going to kind of walk you through it and play through it myself, and kind of maybe talk about it a little bit. But if you want to see the process of me actually figuring out the arrangement, then definitely check out those bonus video lessons. There's 3 parts on Patreon. You can get the tabs also. There's the link in the description. But type in the chat. Let's see who else is here. I'm going to go ahead and just go straight to this screen share. Hope you're all doing well. And I've got it loaded up on, let's see, Soundslice. So on Patreon, you have access. If you join Patreon at the silver tier, which is the first entry level of the paid tiers on Patreon, you get access to all of my tabs and PDFs, as I mentioned, but also all of my Soundslice practice videos, and there's quite a few. So I always say that's my favorite way to practice for myself too, is using Soundslice. So I need to talk to the owner of Soundslice because I promote it so much, but it's such a great tool for practicing. So let me go ahead and do that here. I don't mind promoting things that I use and that I enjoy. In my case, my Patreon page, I'm always promoting it because there's 4,700 posts at least now for you to browse through and hopefully again get inspired from them. So I am now on, you're going to see the Soundslice. I'm just in my mode here, just syncing up. I made a backing track earlier, but I just synced it, which will be interesting. I'm kind of curious. Soundslice has a new feature that I want to test out here, see if it works and see if it sounds any good. It's a pretty cool feature. I'll show you in a second, but let me get to this view mode here. Basically, I'm going to walk you through my arrangement. And I put it in the key of D, mainly just so I can have some open strings here. I did put a backing track with it too. So like right now, or previously on Soundslice, you'd have to choose, do I want to listen to or watch the video? And oftentimes I'll have a video of myself playing and it'll be synced up. But in this case, I have a backing track that I just made via iReal Pro to my arrangement in the key of D. And then, or you can put on synth mode to where you can just listen to it like this. And here, I'll just give you a preview of my arrangement. So that's my arrangement there. It's all finished. We're going to go through it and play through it, practice it. Essentially, I need to learn it myself so I can play it. I try not to write too hard of arrangements to where it takes too long to practice it. I usually say you should be able to learn it in one sitting because I'm not trying to write classical guitar arrangements that's going to take you a week or 2 weeks to learn. Not that I have anything against that, and it's amazing to do that, but being a working musician, I don't have time to do that so much, and I want to play a song instantly. So, just lead sheets. I write out lead sheets. These are all on Patreon and or solo arrangements because I do a lot of solo gigs too. I'm going to go back to the comments. Hopefully, there are a few more people that tuned in. Oh, Jim, you're the only one. All right, this might be a short session then. Not that I don't mind practicing by myself, but I prefer to have some of my Patreon members join in if possible. This is kind of my way, and of course, people out in the world who are going to join in on Patreon. This is just kind of my way of offering some, things that are related to Patreon that I put on Patreon for you to practice to. There's been a lot of new songs recently. I did a live stream. My last live stream was on Moon River by Henry Mancini. I'm still just in love with that classic song. Lately, I've been into What'll I Do, Irving Berlin, another beautiful song. I'm back into Crimea River again as well. So practicing the songs and this one and Beatles something. These are songs that I'm just like working on some ideas and chord melodies. And then lately on Patreon, I've posted some. This ties into solo guitar playing. Is Ted Green. I've been really digging into his teachings and his methods because as a teacher myself, I'm gonna find different ways to teach ideas and improvisation and chord melodies and stuff. And also, Ted Green was one of the most incredible improvisers and solo guitarists who never really is heard. And his teaching materials are extremely influential on the hardcore jazz guitarists, from chord chemistry to his single note soloing. So you'll be getting more of that on Patreon as well. Okay, so you're seeing this. I think we should just go ahead and let me see if anyone else said hello in the comments. Nope, Jim, just you. All right, well, hey, we're going to go through this a little bit at least today and practice this together. I could practice on my own too. So here we go. We're in the key of D. Oh, by the way, I got to show you this really cool feature. Thanks to Soundslice for doing this. I'm back to the video mode. They should have it now so that you can actually use the synth overlay. I haven't tried this yet with my arrangement, but now it's going to play what you see on the screen here in the synthetic mode is going to sound like piano over my backing track that I put here. So let's check it here to see what it sounds like. Slow it down a little bit so we can actually. It's not perfect as far as this synchronization goes, the quantization. Probably if I put it faster, it wouldn't be so bad, but. And that's a matter of, well, maybe they need to work on that still with coming up with a good quantization. I'll send a message to the guy who develops and works on Soundslice. But it'd be nice to have it all quantized really beautifully, so that unless there's a way to do it, so that when you play it back, it's going to line up beautifully to where that's pretty awesome. That you can have your arrangement, or I write out a lot of etudes, and you can have it sync to the backing track so that you can play along with it. Essentially, it's great technique. So again, this is on Soundslice. I'm gonna this new feature of using synth overlay. It's pretty cool. I'm just gonna go to synth mode for now, though, and I'll go back to the view mode. And yeah, we can change the sounds. We can have the metronome turned on. That's not a bad thing to do, actually, when you're in synth mode here, just to have it so that you get the timing of it too. But when I'm teaching this, and again, I'm learning it myself, even though I wrote it, this arrangement doesn't mean I practiced it yet. The rhythm is important. that was the intro. You could repeat the intro, of course, if you want to, but you got. I should. What I'm going to type here. It's a little performance note. It's text though, and it's going to say. Many of you know what I'm going to say, probably, right? Put it down here. Yep. Let ring. You want to let that ring as much as possible, all the way through. I don't want. Just let ring, all the way through. You want it really beautiful and lush and warm. Let ring through intro. That sounds good. Listen to this. 1, 2, 3. So that's the intro there. Probably practice it again. Let's turn on the metronome. Oh, that's fast. I always suggest slow, but work out the shapes. Like we have a D. Oh, I get you. Oh, here, let me tune up to my. That's pretty good. Good enough for jazz, right? Now you're going to see a few different things, and I noticed that the iReal Pro had a couple different changes. So this is my arrangement. I'll just kind of say. So you might want to put a secondary dominant here and have it go to B minor. You might see that in the fake book, but I have it so it's going 1, 3, 2, 5, and then 2. I won't get too much into the theory. Today's more about practicing versus analyzing. Again, check out my lessons if you want the full. I think it's about 2 hours of lessons on this song on Patreon. So here we've got this 1, 2, and 3, 4, and then this bass note comes in on 1. But one thing I mentioned on the video when I went through the process of this chord here is E minor. I want E minor 9 because I like this color. Then that 9 added into it with the 7, so that's why it's called E minor 9. So, but what that means is that you actually have to get your first finger here. This is where you can make a note to yourself. If you print this out, you could put first finger, or 1. You can put a fingering designation there. So from there, you get this 1, 2, and then 3 and 4 and 3, and those are 6s to the E minor from the B7. And then on the E minor, you can hold the same shape. And then now I'm going to go to F sharp 7, and then hit the open E, and hit the open A bass. So this is not an easy arrangement, but it's pretty playable. You just got to practice it. Let's see slowly. 3, 4. Actually, with the pickup notes, 1 here. If you don't see the pickup notes, let's go back to that. 1, 2, 3. I know your eyes in the morning sun. And I do want to say this, F sharp minor 7, I put the shapes here that I'm thinking at D major 7, F sharp minor 7 like this. We can have that open E ring, but I wanted this. And then this E minor 9. So I suggest just to kind of memorize the progression, like doing this. And do it again. Okay. Again. put some feel to it. I know when I'm playing live, I don't use sheet music, first of all. So when I'm playing live, I go by feel. But of course, when I'm practicing, I want to be a little bit more meticulous to the rhythms and try to do my best as I can to memorize it. But again, they always say, learn it so you can forget it later on when you're actually playing it. You don't want to think too hard about it. And I don't want to read music on the stand. I think that takes away from the performance. I'd rather just go by feel, even if I make some mistakes. That's okay. So. So there, I didn't get that fingering, or maybe I did. And then the E minor here. Let's keep going here. I'm actually going to check the comments. This is just a little practice session today. Jim's made an announcement. BBC and orchestras here. Oh, wait, are you talking about Henry Mancini or the Bee Gees? Wow. I think that was when I was talking about Moon River, right? Okay, I better keep. I'm trying to keep my eye on the comments, but I'm on my other screen, so I could do this screen share here. Again, I'm just demonstrating how I would practice this arrangement. For those that are just tuning in, welcome. Please type in the chat. I'd like to see who's here, especially Patreon members, so I can say hello to you. But this is just an open live stream on YouTube. I wrote this arrangement for the Bee Gees, How Deep Is Your Love? I wrote it out the other day. I finished it, but it actually is a 3-part series probably about almost 2 hours of video footage of me working out the little details. And I still might change some of it. I always say, these chord melody arrangements are always kind of organic. They often change as you play them, and you're going to make your own modifications. I try to keep mine pretty stripped down to where it's a template, and already I'm kind of demonstrating that concept to where like I'm just memorizing where the melody note is, the basic rhythm of it. The rhythms are going to change a little bit as long as the feel is there, and the shapes that will basically harmonize the melody. In this case, D major 7 like this, F sharp minor 7 like this to get the root on top, and then the E minor 9. I like the 9 for the color. Okay, and then the B7 with the 6s. That's just my own taste there to put some 6s in. And then this E minor triad, it's a spread voicing. E, B, and then the G. And then you can get the root here. But again, what I would recommend for practicing is, instead of like spending all this time trying to get the note for rhythm, just, understand the shapes, because you're gonna say, ooh, I want to just do this. And that's pretty good if you can do that. Let's go on though. I'm just kind of again demonstrating some practice techniques, how I would practice after writing or learning someone else's arrangement. Again, it's like, well, do I want to learn it note for note? Sometimes I do, sometimes I don't. These days, I usually don't. I just want to get the essence of it. So we have this F sharp 7 from the E minor. So these are 6s still, like this spread voicing. That gives you. And then the F sharp 7. And then I chose to go the open E for that A7 chord, so I could just do a little partial chord. And again, I'm talking about practicing E minor, F sharp 7, A7. Again, 3, 4. Okay. No guarantee I can do that live yet at my gig, tomorrow night, but I'll try my best. And if I just fake it, So that's where we're at right now. Back to the one chord, 1, 3, 6. Yeah, let me just zoom. Oh, yeah, I can zoom in a little bit for you if that's better. And the moment that you wander far. One of my goals is to try to get the melody so it sings. So when somebody hears it, they can hear the words. Assuming, they can hear. I don't know. I'm not sure which Gib is singing this, Maurice or Andy, but they can hear the Bee Gees voice. Then you're doing a good job when they're singing the words. The audience talk. I'm talking about. Just again, that's one of my goals. Is just to harmonize the melody enough. But you got to make sure. What I'm saying is learn the melody. So you have the, and then check this out. So I went like this: D major 7, all from this one shape. You got the third, you got the fifth, and then this F sharp minor 7. I call these grip shapes, and then this B minor 7, pinky here, down to the B minor 7 down there. So this is all B minor 7. This shape here that I'm using is just like this shape here. The flat 7 is in the melody, but you got to get that pinky here and then get the bass. So that means you have to plan that you're fingering out a little bit. So that's where I would practice like this. And then you're gonna see more 6s because I love the sound of 6s for harmonizing the melody, like it's a harmony voice. Okay. So I'm gonna practice that again, and the moment. And my timing is kind of bad there. The rhythm is actually syncopated. It's actually tricky. Let's see. And you can do this, by the way, if you didn't know this on Soundslice. You can also show the stems on the tabs. That often helps because you can see the tabs here. And then for those that don't even read the music, the notes, you can hide it. Look at that. Now it's just all tabs. So again, you can do this on Soundslice. And if you're just tuning in, I'm going over the Bee Gees, How Deep Is Your Love, my solo guitar chord melody arrangement I just finished the other day for Patreon members. And I'm learning it now so I can play it my next gig. And I'm trying to again, come up with ways to maybe simplify it. But I like seeing all the stems. That helps me a lot. And it's kind of complicated because you got the melody on top. Syncopation. So again, that's the idea. Try to just sing the words. And the moment that you wander from me. Let's keep going. I kind of like this. You I don't know how many people are. I'm curious. Type in the comments. Do you read notation or do you read tabs? I think most people it seems like that I've experienced, all they care about are the tabs. They don't even care about the rhythm, but if you want it to sound accurate, you need the rhythm. But of course, these have both, so it can be kind of confusing. You can even get rid of the lyrics too. So now we're just doing that. But I like to know the story, the words. Let's see who else has joined in. Is it just Jim still? Oh, Graham's joined in. Welcome, Graham. Good to see you. So yeah, type in the comments who else is here, especially Patreon members. It's always nice to see you. These live streams are kind of mainly for Patreon members so that y'all can tune in on what we're working on Patreon. And if you're not on Patreon, then join. It's free, but there are paid tiers too, of course. Let's see. So sounds pretty good so far. That's a little bit tricky. Da, 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 da. Syncopation. Just get the timing of that part there. That I would spend more time on that, but I'm just going to kind of go through it a little bit faster here. Feel you in my arms again. So we got this. I'll do that again. The 6s. an accidental slide. The bluesy. Here it is slowly. This just without the bass notes. So here in the harmony of the melody. The melody is just this. But with the harmonized sixes below it, and I didn't put a 6 here on this note there. It would be a C or C sharp to make a 6, but I didn't want to define. If you're wondering, why didn't you put a 6 here? Is that a mistake? No, I didn't want to define the 6th degree. So that's why I didn't do it. But I could keep the B there and do this, so it's not a 6 anymore. But that's E minor 7. And then here's A. And then I put a 9 here. Okay. So again, it's fun to kind of just dissect this a little bit too after writing it. I kind of like that hammer-on. I'd probably do that. I like hammer-ons. Not every little detail is notated. As I mentioned, these arrangements are meant more as a template for you and for myself too. That's a lot of this is for me. Everything I put on Patreon, I practice, I learn, I play. You guys are just there to get inspired with me and help inspire me. So thank you for being on Patreon. But seriously, I would keep it simple. I don't want to see every little detail notated. I like to see the slide just as a reminder, like, oh, I should probably slide this. And here I chose octaves, a little homage to Wes Montgomery here, or Django. So and you come, 1, 2, 3, and you come. And I like the slide. And you, all on the offbeats. And you, 1, 2, 3, and you come to me. Okay. Anna. Again, I would be doing a lot of hammer-ons and vibrato if I'm doing it with a band. But in this case, this is a solo arrangement, so you can't always do that. So you can do some sliding, you can when you can. And then here's G major 7, and then F sharp minor 7 up here with a flat 7 on top. Before we did it down here, but I'm doing it here this time. Okay, so again, I would practice just that little much. 1, 2, 3. And that transition needs work. Now I'm actually considering maybe not even doing this and doing it. This is the same as this. Maybe just slide it up on the 5th string root. This, I gotta show you this. This G major 7 is the same as this. But there's another consideration. Again, like I said, these are very organic. Many of you know on Patreon, I say that, that, hey, I changed some things after trying it and playing it live. It's like, oh, this is better. I like this shape quite a bit too. G6-9. This is it's mobile. So I'm big on knowing your chord inversions, and that's it. My hack. Here's a G major 7 like this, and that's probably what Ted Green would do. It's super cool, but it's hard for most people, including myself, to grab quickly. So now I'm going to consider doing this, and then this. And because I have a strat today, there's no problem to refinger that chord as well up here. But if you don't have a strat, no cutaway, that is, rather, then you're going to want to do it there. So this is where, after now playing this, you're going to hate me. Ta-da. I'm going to... I don't know. Really saying like, oh, this is one shape and not in melody. But maybe you would disagree and say, no, I like it as it was. So I'm going to refinger this. So, hey, that's fine too. I just hope that you know that there's for different. Hard for me to commit to it because if you didn't have the tabs, then you might play here, but I'm playing it here. You can notice the sound too. It's a little bit warmer and throatier when you use the inner strings versus the high string. The treble strings, the plain steel, is really bright and a little twangy. Same 4 notes over here. It's warmer, fatter, darker. Okay. So those are some considerations. But I'm thinking about trying to be as smooth as possible. 1, 2, 3. And that works for me. I'm going to say that. Summer breeze. So that was all from that one shape. It's just an A triad, but it's on the F sharp minor 7 chord because there's an A major triad in the F sharp. It's F sharp, A, C sharp, E. And you can just pluck out the melody separately or hit the melody with the chord each time, like this. It's up to you. You can just do this. Sorry. Let's see. Like that, to where the chord's ringing, or strum the full chord each time, or pluck it rather, in my case. Okay. You could even do different inversions. But that's more work. When you can just get the same essential sound. And then E minor 7. C13. This doesn't need to be here twice, but that's okay. Let's delete it. This kind of doesn't need to be there. And then C7 flat 5. Sorry. So that's a beautiful color there. I'm gonna see who else is here in the comments. If you guys are, no one else is here. How lonely today, practicing all by myself. No, Jim and Graham, thanks for tuning in. I see some thumbs up though. Yeah, if anybody is here, people are probably eating dinner or something. Type in the comments. I'd like to see who's here, who's watching these, because that tells me, hey, do more of these, or hey, don't do these. Nobody's watching, but again, these get archived on Patreon. Oftentimes they just stay on YouTube for a while too. This is a really beautiful song. It's a fun song. I love the song. I want to play through it more again, but I'm gonna just kind of keep going so that you can practice with this later. For those who are watching it on the replay. So again, here's the E minor 7 with the flat 7, 5, flats, 4, sorry, 11, and then C13. And again, you kind of want to try to get that melody rhythm. A lot of syncopations. Let's hear it with the backing, or let's hear it without the. Yeah, that's a little bit tricky. Okay, I want to practice that part again. This is a way to practice. Turn on the metronome. I kind of want to do it all, but let's just start from this octave part into the. And I did a little bit more octaves there. And then this lick here, map out that melody on the first string. And then look at the shapes here, F sharp minor 7. You can grab that A note, the third. 11, octave for a little thickening. And then this, so it's 1 and 4, 2, 3 again, 4, 1 and 4, 1, 2 and 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and again, I think I wrote let. Oh, I thought I did. You want to let ring as much as possible here. Let me write those words in. Oh, I took off the standard notation. Let me see the standard notation. Oh yeah, see it says hi. I wrote the let ring on the standard notation. That's why it shows it, but it doesn't show it on the tab, so you have to look at that let ring. That's the chorus. These sixes, I'm using a lot of sixes. Sixes are so sweet. Yeah, they can be bluesy, of course, too. But so 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2. How deep is your love? And 3 and 4 and 1 and 2 and that's the hook. So you got to practice that over and over. 1, 2. Again. 1, 2. How deep is your love? 1 and 2 and 1, 2. How deep is your love? That's the hook. So that's what I'm saying. Like that stuff's pretty important to really practice. Some of this other stuff, like the rhythms here, I don't want to spend too much time on it, you know. So if you get the shape, I'd say, hey, that's pretty good. If I can memorize the shapes and what the basic melody is, then I don't have to like labor through it note for note, rhythm for rhythm, especially. But it's the next part that's a little bit trickier. Come here. So let me go back to the chats. Are you guys enjoying this, Graham? Jim? Oh, you've got it good, Graham. I know. I'm going to hear it in our private diamond lesson coming up here. So hopefully there's a lot of good stuff to work on Patreon. So I'm going to keep going here then. Let's just go through. I don't need to keep reviewing it. But again, I'm just this was a lesson on kind of just a practice session, learning chord melody arrangement. To me, like what I would be spending my time on. How deep is your love? So let's keep going. We're almost done here then in that case. Well, thanks for doing this, you guys, whoever else is here watching. Looks like there's a few people, but they're ghost watchers or flies on the wall. That's okay. Grab your guitar. I'd suggest just, learn it, play along with me here. It's a good chance to learn it. I'm going to do this with a couple of my etudes too coming up here, some of my gypsy jazz etudes. I think this is fun to practice like this together. It's fun to practice together. Here. I do like that part quite a bit now. And it's me. And it's me you need to. 1 and 2 and let ring. Make sure that's all. And I put the F sharp in the bass, but the third in the bass. So check that out. You probably can't hear it, but it's pretty to have the third in the bass to go from here to this. It's a little bit darker. Of course, if you have a bass player, they probably wouldn't do the third, but this is a solo guitar arrangement. Check this part out here for the I really need to know part. I'm harmonizing with the interval of a fourth, fourths and fifths instead of sixes and thirds. So I've got this sound, kind of a different vibe than the sixes, not as melodic. For the bass, and you want to get this chord. Actually, this chord got taken off. I am thinking of a kind of a shape here. So I'm actually gonna let me edit this and put it back in here. I think this is important for the chorus here. Let me put that chord here. It's a G major 7 in first inversion essentially here. So we got the third and the bass. It's a pretty shape there. Again, that's G major 7. So we have this sound. Then this. And then right there, when you get to that note, you want to be on this finger. So this is tricky, fingering. You want to, again, get the shapes down. You might not worry so much about the note for note rhythm. Okay. This is an interesting. The 6, if you think about it, G6-9, G major 7. And then here's a third in bass. C7 flat 5. Living in a world of fools is a really sweet part. So that's why I put those sixes again. 'Cause we're living in a world of fools. And that's an A minor 7 there, full A minor 7. So let's practice that much. 1, 1 and 2 and 3 and. Tricky rhythms. 1, 2, 3, 4. Oh, I did it again. 1 and 2 and 3 and. Yeah, I purposely wanted to syncopate that major 7. Anticipate it is on the and, but it probably is easier to feel 1 and 2 and 3 like that. So 1 and 2 and 3 and small details again. Let's not worry too much about that. Then anyway, A minor, and it's A minor 6, same chord, F sharp minor 7 flat 5, same thing, right? So that's little chord note triplet inversions. Beautiful. It comes right out of the melody. The chord shapes. The melody comes out to that B7. And then the D sharp dim is a sub. So it adds a third degree of the B7. So you get a flat 9. Sixes. And here's an E minor 9 comes back this earlier. But now I have the G on top. So it's and 1 and 2 and. We belong. This is a complex part here, so that definitely this would deserve more practice time than I'm demonstrating right now, but I'm just kind of breaking it down. 1, 2, 3. And then this part, you can see that I wrote it on different layers. Here it is here, listen to it just on the playback here. Let's listen to that whole chorus part here. So yeah, it needs some practice, but it's fun to play. I think it's I definitely I'm happy with it. I think it's fun to play. I think you all will enjoy working on this on Patreon, of course. That's how I like to do. I like to write it out, practice it, see if it's doable, make sure I map out the shapes. So even if I'm not getting the exact and leave out a few words or lyrics, it doesn't matter. It's like I get the feel, the essence of it. That again is a very big part of it. Um, yeah, Jim, I hear you about traveling up and down. Robot guitar, nah. I don't know. Robot guitar is okay. But yeah, we just want to make it smooth. Just don't try to. I always say, don't try to learn the whole arrangement. Even though I say these are my solo arrangements, generally can be in one or two sittings. But I always say, just try to make it musical too. Try to map out those shapes. I forgot. There. Uh, just go back. I mean, try to get away from the sheet music as fast as possible. That's what I'm saying. Don't glue yourself. Just like get the idea of it, get the feel, map out the shapes. What do you guys want next? What solo arrangement do you want me to work on? Jeff, welcome. I didn't say hi to you, Jeffrey. Good to see you on Patreon. We've got a lot of tunes happening currently. I still need to write out the arrangement for Smile, What'll I Do, Moon River. Lots of chord melodies coming up. Love chord melody. All right. I've got a little extra time. Any other comments, questions? Yeah, Jeffrey, great to see you. My pleasure. I like that feature quite a bit of that overlay, though. You guys saw that, right? That you can over that now on Soundslice. You can, assuming I sync it well enough, you can have it play with a backing track, so you can hear and play along with it, and it's going to line up. I mean, it plays. You can play along with it, which is really valuable. Nevada Jim. Watch out! Chris just joined in. Chris Hoser from Canada. Take off, eh? You're late. You're drinking too much beer. Too much of that strange brew. Sixes, thirds, use them. Learn your inversions. Learn this chord shape. Sweet chord. It's a D, add flat 9. Such a killer chord. Look at this. Or this. Super dark. It makes it sound like a dominant chord. I'm experimenting with that a lot in my arrangements. There's no flat 7 though. It's just a triad with the added flat 9, but it gives it that flat 9 diminished flavor. Altered chord. Yep, I knew it, Chris. No, that's fun. All right. Well, hey, no other comments. No other songs you want to take a look at real fast while we have a few extra minutes? I think I was looking at Like Someone in Love. I was looking at the beautiful song I Should Care recently. I've been on a big Julie London kick lately, so listening to her album Lonely Girl. It's just stripped down guitar and voice. It's beautiful. Al Viola is a guitar player for that one, not Barney Kessel. Gorgeous arrangements. I mean, just it's improvised, it's stripped down. So, say arrangements, not much arranging, but just very intimate. Check it out, Julie London's Lonely Girl album. Okay, well, I guess that's it for now. On the Street Where You Live, that's not one that I normally play, actually. On the Sunny Side of the Street, I do that one. But since Graham mentioned it, let's take a look. Let me pull out the fake book for that one. Nope, it's not in here, Graham. Sorry. We've got On the Sunny Side of the Street, and then Once I Loved, another beautiful Joe Beam song. Jim says Spain. Is that where you're at right now? Oh, Bye Bye Blackbird's a good one. It's a really sweet song. Oh, I Thought About You. I know you like that one. Oh, there's I Should Care. I Should Care is such a beautiful song. I've been. Neither have I. Oh, I'm confessing. Gosh, we got to just open up the fake book and just play through some of these songs. I don't know, Graham. I'm just browsing to see what good songs there are. This is the fake book, the real book. I mean, this is the song I was talking about. It's really nice. What'll I do when you are far away and I am blue? What'll I do? I think I was gonna do a chord melody for that. I don't know. I think I wanted to do it kind of twangy. It needs to be up an octave. Yeah, up an octave. It's a beautiful song. And kissing you, what'll I do? Instead of C6 like this, I like that for an ending chord, but I like C major 7 like this. And then it goes. And again, this is on that Julie London recording. I really suggest. I know I put it on Patreon, but some of you watching are not on Patreon, so check out Julie London's version of "What'll I Do," this Irving Berlin song. It's just guitar and voice, super, super intimate and stripped down. You're gonna like it a lot. Oh my, am I out? I'm out of sync. Sorry, guys. Well, that's okay. I got to get to a private lesson coming up soon. I just wanted to chat a little bit longer since I haven't done a live stream in a few days. But thanks, everybody. Good to see you all. We'll see you next time. Take care.